of teenagers. So right around now, you probably have this thought in your mind. Even a couple of students wrote in my teacher evaluation, "The teacher's crazy." My response to that is, duh. I have taught the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I love them all. Let's face it, we all have an inner scientist. We all have questions, and we all want to touch things and tinker and look closer and closer and closer. It's just my job to draw out the inner scientist in each and every one of my students, and then to treat that scientist right. For even the Arthur Fonzarellis, the Charlie Browns, and the Napoleon Dynamites of the world. Now, I'm really 90 years old, but I look like this because I'm around young people all day. I laugh every day. Here's an actual note that a student gave to me. It's written by his mother. It's regarding a homework assignment where students learn to bake. They bake a loaf of bread at home to learn about fermentation. Here's the actual note. Dear Mrs. Aquistapace, I'm writing this note because my son spent most of the evening making a bread loaf. I went to put the kids to sleep, and the dog ate it on the counter. Please call me if you have any questions. 876-7009. Now I'd like to discuss just a thin slice of my job. And that's the part that's always aware that there is a future Jonas Salk sitting in my classroom. If you think that teenagers are sketchy or marginal as a group, you would be wrong. We could walk into any high school in Contra, Costa County and find brilliance. I am just a recruiter. I'm trying to offer a gateway experience that's part classical, Leonardo da Vinci, dissection, artistry, inquiry, intrigue, and part cutting-edge biotech, DNA, genetic engineering style intrigue. Because I want my students to crave science like an In-N-Out cheeseburger. At 15 years old, at 23, at 40, and at 81, because America needs them to. And it can work. Here's an actual email that I got from a parent. Mrs. A, I thought you might find this interesting. Tonight I was working on the computer and I could hear my son talking in his sleep. Guess what he was saying in a loud voice? I love biology. I love biology. And back to sleep he went. Thanks for making the class so interesting. When I first found out about this award, I felt awkward because currently I only teach boys. And then I reflected on our motto at De La Salle to develop men of scholarship, men of integrity, and men of faith. Not to mention men who can bake bread. type of men can only help women. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my parents, to my dad, a union carpenter for over 30 years, a man who built a lot of Contra Costa County. I say, Dad, I feel as if I built something. I don't understand it, and it's not visible, but I am so proud to be a teacher. And I dedicate this award and this honor to my mother, the most talented and compassionate person I know. She is a hero. She is a superhero. As an intensive care nurse, my mother's literally saved people's lives. One of my favorite stories of my mother, as I remember it when I was young, she was driving alone in her car and she saw a man being mugged. So she off-roaded the car and started driving after the muggers. That's my mother, the original Hall of Famer. And though it is true, I'm around men all day, most days. I belong to a club. I belong to a special women's club, and I'm sure that there are probably other members of the club in this banquet room tonight. I joined the club with 4 words as I was lying on an examination table. A doctor told me sharply, "You have breast cancer." Now, as a member of the club, I've had parts of what make me a woman taken away. Reproductive organs cut. I've lost my hair. And as I stand here, my doctors make sure that I don't have 1 drop of estrogen in my body. But what I've learned is this. By losing the parts that make me a woman, I have become more of a woman. I thank God. I thank God for my life. I really have a deep happiness inside of me. My own internal disco party going on 24/7. That's because I have mixed the cake, baked the cake, and eaten the cake of life. And now, every hour, every day is frosting. This is pure frosting. On game day, I often ask my students who are athletes, what is your goal in the game today? What are you going to try to achieve? Often I hear, Mrs. Aquistapace, I'm going to leave it all on the field. Mrs. Aquistapace, I'm going to give it all that I have. I'm going to leave it all on the field. To the Contra Costa Commission for Women, I promise to do the same. Thank you.